Good morning, grade 4s. So for the next few days, I'm going to be recording our English and creative arts lessons and posting them on YouTube and making them available for you to watch on Class Dojo. If you are sick or you are isolating or you are unable to come to school, then you will be able to access all our lessons from here. Today, we are going to start with a new theme called News and Views. This particular lesson might go on for today as well as tomorrow. So I might not be posting a lesson for Tuesday, but this is what will continue in class, what we will continue with in class. So, why do we have news? We have news so that we can have information regarding the life around us, our country, our city, our schools, to know what is happening in the world around us. It is important for us to listen to the news, to engage with the news, and to know what is going on in the world. What are the different places where we can get access to the news? Access means where can you actually get the news? Where can you find the news? So certain places are our cell phones. I know that is an answer that everybody loves. Yes, we can get the news on our cell phones. We can Google certain things and find news articles. We could have a News 24 app where we get the news right away. We could have all these different things available on our phone so that we can just find out information. Another place to get news besides our cell phones is newspaper articles. Now, I know a lot of people don't really have newspapers that often anymore, but newspaper articles are always available. Actual newspapers are available quite cheap at places like Spar, Pick n Pay. They are there and they tell us about events happening all around us. We then have magazine articles that might have news updates. We also have other apps on our phones, like Twitter, for example. If you have Twitter, you can also have access to certain companies. For example, today, while I'm recording this, it is Sunday, and I don't have water. When I tried Googling why I don't have water, nothing was available. But if I check on Twitter and I go to Joburg Water, that specific company keeps giving updates on what is happening with water reservoirs and tells us why we don't actually have water. They also give us updates at the time about what is happening. So Twitter is also a cool place to get news sometimes. But we also need to be careful of where we are getting our news from. We'll speak about that shortly. What types of people get us the news? So here I'm talking about not just average people. What job does the person have when they have to get the news for us? These people are called journalists. Journalists go out, they go to certain places, they find the information, and they write about it, and they give us the actual news as it's happening, when it's happening. These journalists might get the information from going to places, they have to ask the right people questions, they actually have to work hard to get information for us in order for it to be accurate. That means that it's right, and for it to make sense. We then have what problems can we have when it comes to the news. So a lot of the time, especially now when we're getting news on our phones, is that there's a lot of fake news that can go around. We have fake articles, stuff that's telling us lies. There's incorrect articles where they give misinformation. That means that the information that they're giving us is wrong or confusing. We also have where they're giving the news from one point of view and you don't actually see the big problem that is happening. So, for example, if I wrote a story about food and I write my article about food and how one certain type of food is better than all other foods, not everybody can trust that because it is just my opinion. It's not a whole rounded view where you understand everything where it makes sense for everybody to believe that it's the same. It's a biased opinion. That means that it only comes from my point of view, and I'm telling you exactly what I think you should believe, that this type of food is the only good food for you. The same thing happens with problems happening in the world, with differences of opinion. These are certain problems that we can have when it comes to the news. Okay, let's have a look at the elements of a newspaper article. So over here, I have this article, a part of it, called Artificial Intelligence Can Revolutionize Education. When we're reading an article, it's important for you to look at certain things. So, for example, for this one, we're looking at where it's published, what company published it. There are certain companies that publish news, but they are not really reliable sources. There might be a company that tells lies, there might be a company that gives fake news. So we need to look at what company is sharing the news with us. We then have the date of publication. So for example, this one says the 30th of June to the 6th of July 2019. So that is when this I think it's a newspaper article, was available between those dates. Usually magazine articles actually have it like that. So, for example, again, if I'm looking at the water situation and I'm looking on Google to find information regarding the water, I'd have to look at the date to make sure that the article is relating to today's date, not March or January. We then look at the country or the city of publication. So this article is for New Delhi. So it's perfectly fine because everybody can understand artificial intelligence can revolutionize education. That can be something for South Africa as well. But if my article is India's water crisis is bad, that doesn't really affect South Africa. So it might not affect South Africa in the same way that it affects India. We then have our headline. Your headline is like your title of the story. That tells you what is going to be spoken about. We then have a subline, which tells you more about the article. So over here it has, the role of technology is becoming more and more central to our educational infrastructure, with AI-powered systems transforming the way we teach and learn. This is the age of the high-tech classroom. So your subline is telling us more about our headline. It's giving us more information. So I can read my headline and my subline and decide if this article is really something I would like to read. So because I'm a teacher and I believe that artificial intelligence or technology is important in a classroom, this article would be something that I would actually be interested in. But the next thing, I need to look at who is actually writing this. Does this person know anything about the topic? So I look at the journalist's name or the writer's name. Okay, so for example, if you had an article that says, "Lockdown will happen again," written by Mrs. Jarpy. That is an article that we wouldn't really believe because Mrs. Jarpy doesn't know anything about what is happening in lockdown unless she actually went out and got the information. But you need to make sure that you have the proper journalists, not just random people that are writing the articles. So if you look at this article and I go to this bottom section over here, because we can see there's a section over here that they've highlighted for us. This says the author is founder director Shemford and Shamrock Group of Schools. So the person who wrote this article comes from a group of schools, a specific company that is a group of schools. Okay, and they're the founder and director. That means that they are the main person, the CEO. They found the place. Okay, so we always look at our source. We decide, is it a credible source? Does it relate to the correct dates? And does it relate to where you are in the world? So, for example, today I looked for articles relating to the water. This one says Rand Water's distribution network currently under severe pressure. Okay, cool. If I read the article, it will tell me about the water and why I don't have water. But the problem is this was for the 18th of March 2021. So the information is not going to be correct of why I don't have water today. The next one, Joburg residents experiencing water supply issues following power outage. Again, the date is wrong. So this was for the 21st of October 2020. That's last year. So it's not really going to help me know what is going to happen today. Okay, so in your platinum books, we are going to be working on page 46 and 47. If you don't have your platinum books available, I will be posting the pictures of the pages as well as showing it to you on the screen now. If you do have your platinum books, that's awesome. Then this is going to be done in your language and comprehension side of your book. So that's the front of your book. If you don't have your language and comprehension book and it's at school, please do this on exam pad paper. Remember to write your heading and everything like I show you, and we'll stick it into your books when you get back to school. Okay, so over here we have a picture of this man over here, and we have an article called Long Walk to Freedom. So we know this man, right? I'm going to show you another picture. This man is Nelson Mandela, who was our first black president. Okay, and then we know that the title Long Walk to Freedom relates to his long walk to freedom. So let's read this article. When the book Long Walk to Freedom, written by our former president Nelson Mandela, fondly known as Madiba, first came out, it was over 600 pages long and not really for kids. Because Madiba was so fond of children and wants them all to share his love for reading, it has been released as a children's book. The book tells the story of Madiba's life from the time he was just a baby until he became president of our country. It tells of how Mandela and his friends fought apartheid and made it possible for everyone in South Africa to be equal. Mandela was arrested for helping to fight apartheid. He and his colleagues from the ANC were charged with planning to overthrow the government. During the trial, Mandela told the court the ANC had been a peaceful organization. He told the court, "I have cherished the idea of a democracy in which all persons live together in harmony. It is an idea for which I am prepared to die." The men were sentenced to spend the rest of their lives in prison and were sent to Robben Island. But, as we all know, they didn't spend the rest of their lives in jail. Because Madiba wants all children to be able to read, the book has been translated into all South Africa's 11 official languages. So this article, we can read over here, was adapted from Madiba's Long Walk for Children by Bianca Capazero, Jelly Bean Journal, that is where it comes from, and on the 26th of September 2019. So what you are going to do, in your books, you are going to answer these questions, right? So just the after you read section, not the language section. You don't need to answer that today. You are going to answer the questions in your book in full sentences. Please remember, between each question you are going to skip a line. So over here you are going to write number 1A, write the full sentence. Your answer is going to be in color. Then you're going to skip a line. You're going to write B. A children's version of A Long Walk to Freedom was made because, and then you are going to write the answer. Full stop, skip a line, and so on. Okay. We have question number 2, which is, why do you think the book is called A Long Walk to Freedom? That is your own answer. You're going to start with, I think the book is called A Long Walk to Freedom because bloody bloody fish paste. Skip a line. Number 3. This wants you to write a definition for each of the words below. Use a dictionary to help you. If you have a dictionary at home, please try to use that. And what you are going to do is you are going to write A, released, then a line, and you are going to tell me the meaning of the word. Please skip lines between each definition. Number 4, it says find antonyms for the words in the text that are in color. So an antonym is a word that has an opposite meaning. So you are going to tell me the opposite of the words in color. So if we go back here, we have love, friends, equal, peaceful. Those are the words that are in color. You are going to find the antonyms, which is the opposite of those words, and you are going to write them down. Please write the first word. So for example, if I'm using the word love, you're going to write the word love, and then you are going to write a line and write hate. Okay. When you are done, you are going to rule off. So in your books, you are going to have Monday, 31st of May, 2021. Skip a line. Please remember, don't draw my X, you just skip a line. You are going to write theme, news and views, skip a line, Long Walk to Freedom, and then platinum, page 46 and 47. And then you are going to answer the questions below. Thank you, grade 4s. Have a lovely day. Bye.